All across the continent, from Egypt to South Africa, massive developments are transforming the rail landscape. The upgrading of trade corridors and introduction of new high-speed trains are redefining the movement of goods and people, something rail companies were upbeat about at the Africa Rail Conference in Johannesburg.
If you look at Morocco, we have delivered Africa's first high-speed train, 350 kilometers running very efficiently. We have seen Egypt moving into the phase where they will start implementing their own high-speed train. We see South Africa is at inception talking about how do we make this possible.
The advancements positions the rail sector as a vital economic building block and an enabler to the much-anticipated African free trade area. According to the African Union, intracontinental trade remains way below 20%, a trend the continent is set on changing in the next few decades.
We should see the development and the upgrade of rail on the continent as a whole as a very positive development to facilitate trade amongst ourselves as African partners. We obviously would be very interested as a manufacturing hub, and of course we are also very interested in receiving imports from our neighbours that could also help our own domestic trade and industry to develop.
To realize this vision, massive capital injection and close cooperation is required with global partners such as China and the US, as well as private players.
I think for me it's making sure that we see these alternatives, finance instrumentation, as a strength than as a weakness. We need to create skills in the country so that when we're constructing and operating these railways, they're not just only for the time when we're building and operating, but they stay and they are sustainable.
Stumbling blocks, however, remain in the upkeep of trains and railway lines, a cost many countries are unable to carry. While the introduction of digital technologies poses a challenge in countries with old and outdated systems.
It's about how do we use AI, first of all, in making sure that we are protecting and securing the infrastructure that we are investing into. But second to that is also just making sure that we're using technology to be able to predict what possible breakdowns and maintenance and how is tech going to be able to also ensure the long lifespan of the infrastructure.
Rail nevertheless provides a cheap and reliable mode of transport for passengers and trade once the trains hit the track. If Africa is to move away from roads and advance towards becoming a trade powerhouse, it will have to work harder at building more efficient networks. CGTN, South Africa.